have seen that dramatic video of hundreds of birds literally falling from the sky into a neighborhood. What on earth was going on?
Animals are able to pick up when natural disasters are about to happen in a way that humans just can't. Those signals warn us about impending doom. If we act in time, we may be able to stop disasters before they happen. Recently, one of the strangest things happened in New Mexico. A flock of blackbirds was seen falling to the ground as though in some kind of daze. What impending doom could we be facing? Do we have enough time to save ourselves? Join us in this video as we explain what is coming, but most people have no idea about. In February 2022, the strangest thing occurred in New Mexico. Individuals woke up on New Year's Day to a horrible scene. The bodies of several hundred blackbirds littered the streets. The strange event caused a lot of panic in the scientific community and communities that advocate for protecting the Earth against climate change. The image was caught on security camera footage. The cause of death was unclear, but some scientists suspect it to be a predatory bird swooping from above. The footage showed a flock of birds descending onto the houses like a cloud of black smoke. While most birds flew away, subsequent footage showed the carcasses of distinctive black and yellow birds scattered all around the streets. The incident happened on February 7, 2022, according to local reports. A rumor circulated on social media that the cause of their death was the new 5G technology. A veterinarian also suggested that the tiny creatures were killed by extensive pollution, largely driven by wood-burning heaters, agrochemicals, and cold weather. Another suggestion was that the birds were electrocuted. Dr. Richard Broughton, an ecologist who works with the UK Centre for Ecology, gave the most plausible reason for the death of the birds. He suggested that a predatory bird, most likely a hawk or a raptor, was the cause of the strange event. However, that does not explain why some birds died, as one hawk could not have caused such extensive damage. Before this, a similar and equally scary incident occurred in Arkansas on the 2011 New Year's Eve. About 5,000 birds were found on the streets of Nashville as the dawn ushered the city into the new year. In this case, these birds' deaths were attributed to the fireworks that lit up the sky the night before. The poor birds were victims of circumstance. The loud noises from the fireworks were believed to have startled the birds out of their nests. This caused them to fly into trees, houses, and other obstacles that might have hit them. While the Arkansas incident sparked multiple theories, most bordering on our ever-changing climate, experts believe the noise pollution theory. Animal experts understand these birds' behavior and know that the pretty birds roost at night. Unfortunately, blackbirds have poor night vision and typically do not fly at night. It would not be surprising if the loud noises from the fireworks disoriented the birds and caused them to collide with obstacles in their way, their poor night vision unable to save them. Moreover, this large number of casualties in the Nashville avian population has been attributed to the winter effect. During winter, the population of birds in Southern America experiences a significant explosion. This population explosion arises from massive migration from the north. Unfortunately, this holiday decline in the avian population is no new thing. Every holiday season between Christmas and New Year's Eve, a mass death is recorded amongst birds. About 450 red-winged were found along a stretch of highway in Point Coupe Parish just a few days after the Arkansas incident. The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency also reported that 120 blackbirds were found dead in Wilson County, Central Tennessee. In December 2011, the same week as the Arkansas event, another disaster was reported at Murray County, Kentucky. Grackle, red-winged blackbirds, and starlings were found dead, their bodies littering the grounds near Murray State University. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife spokesperson, Mr. Mark Maricini, reported that what had killed the birds was unknown. He stated that no toxins were found in their bodies, making it difficult to decipher what could have caused their death. The Tennessee birds had been dead too long for the cause of their deaths to be established. Aside from birds, there are other mysterious incidences involving other animals. One such case happened recently in Texas, where thousands of dead fish were washed ashore on the Texas Gulf Coast. The dead fish first started appearing on the Brazoria County beaches on July 7, 2023. The county authority had to shut down the beaches to commence cleaning. The large amount of dead fish on the beaches meant cleaning took quite a while. Investigations later established that the mass death of the fish was of natural causes. In summer, when temperatures rise, the water's oxygen may not dissolve well enough to ensure that sea creatures survive. When the oxygen in the water is not enough, the fish can't breathe. Although this is a natural occurrence, there are some man-made causes of mass deaths in aquatic life. One of the leading man-made causes is oil spillage. The black gooey ooze settles atop the water, blocking sunlight and oxygen from reaching the depth and destroying aquatic ecosystems in droves. The next major man-made cause is dumping waste products into the waters. Some of these waste products have high chemical content, which may poison the sea creatures, leading to their mass deaths. Similarly, millions of aquatic animals suffocate on plastic wastes, desecrating the water bodies. The odd occurrences of dead animals on our beaches or roadsides fuel the talks about an apocalypse approaching. We understand there are no less than 10 billion birds in North America alone. The numbers may even reach a staggering 20 billion. Sadly, about half of that number die yearly due to natural causes. Scientists are no longer baffled by strange appearances of dead birds on the roads or anywhere else. Scientists even argue that birds suddenly dying mid-flight is nothing to worry about. However, birds dying mid-flight makes one wonder if birds are prone to strokes and other heart diseases. While many scientists believe we should not worry about birds raining down from the sky occasionally, others have a different opinion. Some scientists attribute mid-flight deaths to certain causes, such as high altitudes, hail, or flying in a lightning storm. Do birds struck by lightning get instantly roasted as we see in cartoons? I guess we will never know. However, we cannot dismiss the possibility of these occurrences arising from an impending apocalypse. The ancient Romans believed that birds, if properly read, could foretell the future. The ancient Romans habitually cut a bird open and studied the arrangement of its internal organ. The arrangement of the entrails was believed to tell omens and hold the secrets to mysteries. One popular example of this is in the legends of Troy. It is said that upon the birth of Prince Paris, a white dove was killed by slitting its neck, and the blood ran black, meaning the newborn prince of King Priam had to be killed, or he would cause the city's downfall. Today, Troy is nothing but a pile of rubble, showing that perhaps there is some truth to the bird omen shindig. Another opinion may be that the poor bird probably had some strange disease and meant nothing. The downfall of Troy may have simply been caused by the greed and lust of a young and silly prince, a mightier army, and the brains of a wickedly intelligent Greek ally named Odysseus. In Christian myth, unusual occurrences with animals are often attributed to a sign from God. There were many instances where God used animals to carry out his bidding, especially when he wanted to punish a stubborn set of people. Animals were crucial in the 10 plagues that afflicted Egypt when Pharaoh Ramses refused to let the Israelites go. We also see animals come out to play when snakes bit the Israelites on their journey to the Promised Land, when they disobeyed the commandment and worshipped other gods. Finally, we see it when God commanded a whale to swallow Jonah. This only proves that animals have been involved in strange events from time immemorial. The Bible, however, warns about what the end times will likely be like. In Ezekiel 38:20, we read that the fish in the sea and the birds in the air, the beasts of the fields and every creature that moves on the face of the ground, and all the people on the face of the earth will tremble at my presence. The mountains will be overturned, the cliffs shall crumble, and every wall will fall to the ground. Can we then call it a mere coincidence that many of these things we see are explained in the verse quoted above? Every year, we witness a steady decline in the population of birds, dead fishes are being washed ashore, the earth is experiencing more frequent earthquakes, and natural disasters are at an all-time high. Let's not start with how rapidly our climate changes, how it gets significantly hotter every year, and how climates are now at the extreme. It's either blisteringly hot, or we are in sub-zero temperatures. The storms are getting worse, and lightning storms are getting much more dangerous and frequent. Maybe these biblical warnings should be taken with more than a pinch of salt. Still talking about animals and their sense of foreboding, in Turkey, it was observed that some birds were beginning to act a bit strangely. The first time the strange behavior was reported was right before an earthquake. Animals were spotted leaving their hiding places and running inland for safety. As we have previously stated, animals generally behave oddly in the days or even weeks preceding a natural disaster. This further confirms the scientific claims that birds and other highly sensitive animals can detect seismic activities before they occur. One interesting example is the event before the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. In the days that led up to the rather disastrous incident, there were reports about the animals in the area acting weird. Dogs refused to go up to the shoreline. Birds abandoned their nests and went further inland, away from the impending doom. In another instance back in 1975, it was discovered that before a major earthquake, all the rats, frogs, snakes, and other undomesticated animals had abandoned their burrows and ponds and fled inland. We can watch out for animal behavior that signals impending doom. Frequent barking from our dogs is one. Sometimes, Fido isn't trying to act out or get on your nerves, but warning you about the impending doom. If you are a fish person and you notice that your fish is suddenly swimming close to the surface of the tank, it may be time to do some digging. There may be a disaster of some sort waiting to happen. The strange behavior of animals before a disaster, especially earthquakes, has continually baffled scientists for the longest time. Studies and extensive research have been dedicated to understanding the heightened awareness of animals to changes in seismic activities. They believe that this would be a great way of predicting earthquakes. The impeccable navigation of migrating birds is also a source of great consternation amongst scientists. How birds unerringly navigate themselves during long-distance migration across seas has amazed scientists for a long time. Scientists believe that birds can detect electromagnetic fields easily. They even go as far as theorizing that birds have specialized structures in their eyes that enable them to see magnetic fields physically. There is evidence that supports the claim that birds can detect the direction and intensity of the Earth's magnetic fields. This is possible due to the presence of a protein called cryptochrome. This particular protein is sensitive to magnetic fields and is indeed found in birds' eyes. That part is not just a theory after all. The earliest reference to unusual animal behavior before a significant earthquake was in 373 BC in Greece. Before the earthquake hit, rats, weasels, snakes, and centipedes were found leaving their burrows and hideouts en masse, heading for safety. Fast forward to 2004, a tsunami of epic proportions took out the coastal communities along the coast of the Indian Ocean. The tsunami was caused by a 9.1 magnitude undersea earthquake. The effects were too devastating for words. At least 225,000 people were killed across a dozen communities. The high death toll was, for the most part, caused by a lack of warning. The warning systems set in place by the locals were no good in this situation, as they failed to raise any clear alerts. The systems were reported to have experienced some downtime due to some maintenance it was due to undergo in that period. There was also a shortage of communication between authorities who readily had access to such information ahead of time and the locals. Emergency messages did not get to the locals on time, but more importantly, the locals seemed to have ignored nature's fire bells. It was reported that hours and even minutes before the 9-meter wall of salt water hit the coastlines, animals were seen attempting to flee the area after sensing the danger. Some eyewitnesses reported that they had seen elephants run for higher ground. Flamingos leave low nests to fly away from the disaster, while dogs refuse to go outdoors. The locals of Bangkoki village, Thailand, reported that a herd of buffalo that had been completely relaxed and grazing away had suddenly pricked their ears and gazed out into the sea for some minutes, before proceeding to stampede over to a nearby hill just a few minutes before the wave began to rise. Another such report was a footage that was nothing short of eerie. The video captures a large flock of sheep circling in one spot for 12 days consecutively. The video originated from China and first appeared on social media. The sheep moved around in an almost concentric circle. As usual, the internet was quick to draw judgments on the matter. Some suggested that there was a bit of an X-Files situation going on. Another less critical idea was that the poor sheep were spiraling to their deaths. None of these theories are plausible. They just prove that humans need to explain away any odd occurrence. However, scientists cleared the air concerning this mystery. Some believe that the sheep were suffering from listeriosis. This disease is a neurological condition caused by bacteria usually found in feed and soil, and more often in rotten vegetable matter and soil. Perhaps the sheep ate some, but the behavioral pattern these sheep exhibited does not come with listeriosis. and it typically does not affect all the sheep in a flock. For what it is worth, while we depend on our superior technology to detect when a disaster is bound to happen, we should work on becoming more attuned to our animals. Getting adept at picking up cues from your animals, be it your golden retriever or your neighbor's annoying chihuahua, may be the doorway out of the next disaster. When next you see animals acting strange, now you know a likely reason for that. Thank you for watching another episode of Voyager. While you are still here, click on the video on your screen to see more mind-blowing videos like this one.